Let's cut through the noise. Yeah, confidence matters. Being kind, emotionally available. It counts, but if we're being real, if we're talking about what turns women on fast, it's the weird stuff, the unexpected, psychological curveballs that sneak past logic and hit straight to the gut. These are the things she'll admit to her friends. Hell, half the time she won't admit it to herself. But when a man does these 8 things, it flips the switch, her guard drops. Her imagination runs, and her body reacts before her brain can catch up. These are the 8 weird, primal psychology-backed behaviors that make her want you fast. 8, you say no without hesitation. Most guys are so thirsty for approval that they say yes to everything. Drinks, sure. Help moving, sure. Want to listen to her vent for 90 minutes while your steak gets cold. Sure, but the guy who calmly, confidently says no, that guy's a different breed. See, when you say no without flinching, without anger, without explaining yourself, you're signaling something very few men ever master: boundaries. Boundaries are sexy because they scream self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic. Here's what's really happening. You're telling her that you value your own time and energy more than her temporary approval. That doesn't push her away. It pulls her in. Why? Because now she has to earn your yes. And that flips her psychology from passive evaluation to active pursuit. She may act annoyed. She may roll her eyes, but trust me, the part of her brain that tracks high-value men just highlighted you in neon. 7, you smell like something specific. It sounds crazy, but scent bypasses logic entirely. It shoots straight into the limbic system, the emotional and memory core of the brain. And that means one thing. If she associates your smell with a positive emotion, you're imprinted. And no, it's not always about expensive cologne. Sometimes it's the scent of your clean shirt mixed with sweat after the gym, or the soap you use that she can't place, but keeps wanting to smell again. Research on androstenedione, a compound found in male sweat, shows it can elevate women's mood and focus, even without conscious awareness. That means she doesn't even know why she's suddenly paying more attention to you. But she is, if she steals your hoodie and never gives it back. That's not fashion, that's olfactory addiction. 6, you stay calm during chaos. Something goes wrong, plans change. A server spills your drink. Some dude bumps into you at the bar. Most guys get rattled, you stay calm, maybe even crack a smile. This is primal when chaos hits and you remain still. She doesn't see passivity. She sees power biologically. Women are wired to seek safety. Emotional safety, physical safety. And nothing screams safe harbor like a man who keeps his center. When everyone else loses theirs, it tells her you're in control. Not just of the situation, but of yourself. That's rare, that's attractive. And it sticks. You didn't flex, you didn't dominate, you just didn't flinch, and that makes her want to lean into you. When things feel out of control, your hand placement isn't always about touch. Here's where it gets psychological. It's not the touch that gets her attention. It's the anticipation of it. When you're sitting near her and your hand rests near hers, not touching, just near, you're creating what psychologists call suggestive proximity. Her skin can feel the nearness. Her brain registers the possibility, and that space between almost and actual creates an erotic charge. It's the same with a slow reach toward her lower back that never quite lands, or a gesture where your fingers grace her arm once during a story, and then don't return. The absence becomes presence. Her mind fills in the gaps. Her body wants a repeat, and because it's not over, she can't rationalize it away. You look at her, then smirk like you know something. This one's lethal. You're mid-conversation, she's talking. You hold her gaze just a little longer than normal. And then you smirk, not a full smile, not a laugh, just that I know something. You don't grin. Now her brain goes into overdrive. Did he just flirt? Did he like what I said? Is he picturing something? Wait, what is he picturing? You didn't say a word, but you just handed her imagination a loaded deck. That smirk is the spark, and her mind supplies the fire. This works because it activates the mystery gap. When she doesn't know what you're thinking, but she feels it's something intimate. She fills that gap with fantasy, and that fantasy has your face on it. 3, you treat her beauty casually. Most guys freeze up when they talk to a beautiful woman. They either gush compliments, get awkwardly quiet, or go into performative alpha mode. You act like it's normal. Like you've been here before. You give her a glance and a half smile. Maybe one low-key compliment. Then change the subject. You don't stare. You don't ignore, you acknowledge, then move on. That's high-status behavior. Why? Because you're not reacting the way most men do. Which means in her mind you must have options. And that frames you as desirable without needing to say a word. The weird part. She may complain about guys not giving her enough attention, but the guy who doesn't drool over her, he's the one she obsesses over later. Quick pause if you're liking this so far, but still wondering how to tell when she's actually into you. I got you. Grab the 25 forbidden signals she's secretly into you. Cheat. These are the cues she thinks she's hiding, like that lip flash, that foot angle, or the way she positions herself when she's low-key fantasizing. It breaks down exactly what each one means and what to do next. Links in the description, trust me. Once you see these, you'll never miss your moment again. All right, back to it too. You whisper instead of raising your voice. This one's underrated magic. When you lower your voice, not in pitch but in volume, she has to lean in, and that forced closeness that creates intimacy. Whispering also triggers something ancient in the female brain. It signals secret safety. Trust, but it also implies seduction. Researchers call it selective auditory engagement. Basically, you're telling her this moment is just for you. It also hijacks her nervous system. Whispered speech activates the same areas associated with touch. That's right, she hears you. But her body feels it. Don't overdo it. Don't get creepy, but if you're in a loud space and you lean in with a slow whisper about something playful, her mind won't just remember what you said. It'll remember how it felt to hear you say it. You end the interaction first. This one hits hard. You're mid-conversation. There's chemistry. She's laughing. She's into it, and then at the perfect moment, you end it. Hey, I've got to bounce. Let's catch up later. You don't linger. You don't wait for the next topic. You create the tension and then walk away. Why is this so powerful? Because of something called the Zeigarnik effect. It's a psychological principle that says people remember unfinished experiences more vividly than completed ones. When you leave just before the peak, her brain can't file it away. It replays, it loops. She's not thinking about what you said. She's thinking about what might have happened if you stayed. Scarcity tension. Desire all wrapped into a graceful exit. Look, chances are you've already done some of these without realizing why they hit so hard. And that's the point. Attraction isn't logical. It's primal, subtle. felt, and if you're ready to see what really makes her imagine being with you without even realizing it, watch this next video. 8 things you do that make her imagine being with you without her realizing. Until next time, pay attention. Make your move and own the moment.